Hey friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to WrestleJuice. So Money in the Bank 2023 is in the books. Man, I love these noon pay-per-views because I'm done with the going in Raw stuff by like 4:30 or so. And then I get to drop the WrestleJuice video right after on the same day as the pay-per-view. Sorry, premium live event. Let's talk about today's premium live event, Money in the Bank. What we're going to do is take a look at every match that went down. And we're going to assign a grade to it using the American public education system grading system. That's right, A+ through an F. Is anybody going to get an F on this pay-per-view? Let's find out. First up, we had men's Money in the Bank. I've seen the criticism on what's left of Twitter. Damian Priest got the Money in the Bank briefcase. I like this move because I think it's the best to serve the stories in WWE, the story of the Judgment Day, the Finn Balor stuff. I thought there was a little bit of an intrigue angle going there in the World Heavyweight Championship match. I think Damian Priest is the guy. I think WWE sees him as a guy they can tell stories with. They might not be terribly sure about how much dimension LA Knight's character can have, but I think they're no longer denying that, man, the crowd is really behind LA Knight. They gave him that spot at the very end where he was so close to reaching it and the crowd was really into it. And then Damian Priest took that away from him. So I really hope they see this as something like, okay, LA Knight, we can really run with him down the line and maybe he could win Money in the Bank next year. Maybe he could win the Royal Rumble. I don't know. But I hope they focus on telling more stories with LA Knight because clearly the guy is super over. The crowd loves him, and it'd be a shame if they drop the ball with him. Let's talk about Damian Priest. I think they're setting up a lot of good stuff between him and Finn Balor there in Judgment Day, with Priest having the briefcase and him costing Finn Balor that Seth Rollins World Heavyweight Championship later on. I thought the match was a lot of fun. I actually gave this match A-. Why? Because I thought there was some clunky stuff. There was a scary spot there with Logan Paul and Ricochet where they did like the worst Spanish fly I've ever seen because it was stumbly onto some tables. And yeah, but otherwise I thought it was a really good Money in the Bank match. I thought there was all sorts of, oh my God, this guy's going to get it. No, this guy's going to get it moments. And everybody busted their asses. So I gave this one an A-, not a full A because LA Knight should have won. I really like LA Knight. I wanted him to win this. Anyways, let's move on. Enough of my fantasy bullshit. Let's see here. The women's tag match. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey were defending, at least for a good portion of this match, those tag titles against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Of course, Shayna Baszler with the surprise swerve on Ronda Rousey. I did not see this coming at all. Evidently, her ring attire was some sort of tell because it was like a Warhammer 40K reference, some sort of character who is a traitor as well. I'm not that quite level of nerd. I like the Star Trek stuff, not the whatever Warhammer stuff is. Anyways, yeah, what did I give this match? I gave this match a B- because I thought it was a pretty good match, and I loved the shocking sort of, oh my God, Shayna just turned on Ronda stuff. I really liked that. It came out of left field, and it sets up Shayna to maybe get one on Ronda Rousey in the end, because I feel like Ronda Rousey's probably not going to be wrestling for very much longer. So if this sets up a cool Shayna versus Ronda Rousey program for SummerSlam, I'm all for it. Shayna should win that and then move on to the title picture. Let's move on to the next match. We had Gunther versus Riddle. Now, I'll be honest with you. Sorry, Matt Riddle. I don't know why I'm pulling events right here. They didn't give this match like a ton of time. I thought it was good for what it was. Riddle went into it with like the busted ankle, and Gunther took advantage of that. I ended up giving this match a solid B. It was going to be a B-, but then I remember there was the bit where Gunther chopped Matt Riddle's foot, and I thought that was hilarious and awesome, and I'd never seen it before. That chop of Gunther's is so powerful that it even did damage to Matt Riddle's foot. Just flat against the foot there. And then he made him tap out with like an ankle lock. So I gave this a solid B. I was expecting a bit more between these two, to be honest with you. I felt like if they gave him like 20 minutes or so instead of the like 10 or so they gave him, then maybe I could have been like, oh, wow, is Riddle going to win this? But they didn't do that. They just gave him like not a ton of time. I don't know how long it was. It wasn't very long.
Hey, what's going on? This is Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonator Phil McDonald. Do you want new WrestleJuice merch? We've got it over at friendoshop.com, and right now you can use code PURPLE to save 20% off site-wide, and you get yourself a new WrestleJuice hat or the new King WrestleJuice logo shirt. Go to friendoshop.com right now or get hit with a stutter.
All right, man, let's move on to the Cody Rhodes versus Dom Mysterio match. I was kind of surprised that like There was no real intrigue in this match. Pretty cut and dry thing. Cody Rhodes gets the win over Dom Mysterio clean with one crossroads. There was like a little bit of distraction stuff from Rhea, but really not a whole lot. It was mostly just her egging on Cody when he went to the outside saying, come on, hit me. And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. So I don't know. I felt like there should have been a little bit more. Like I was kind of expecting Brock Lesnar to show up at the end of this match, maybe wonk the finish, or he F5s everybody and drapes Dom over Cody, or vice versa. They did one spot here where Cody like takes off very dramatically his titanium cast, and then Dom's like, oh my God. So maybe they'll use that for Dom to say, oh, you know, he was faking this injury the whole time or something like that. But really, they didn't give this match a whole lot. I ended up giving it a C because of that, because it was just sort of like a normal paint by numbers match. This could have been on Raw, but they built it up for pay-per-view and then really didn't do much with it. So kind of surprised about that one. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to John Cena showed up. And this is obviously not a match. He didn't fight Grayson Waller, but he promoted what I guess could be at some point a WrestleMania in London. He said the higher ups at WWE don't want that, but he does, and he thinks London deserves it. Out comes Grayson Waller. He talks some shit, and then John Cena gives him an AA. This segment was like, okay. If it wasn't, it would have been okay if it wasn't so damn long. Man, Cena talked forever, and then Grayson Waller came out and talked forever. There was just a whole lot of talking, and it really slowed down the show. It ended up taking the show into like 3 hours and 45-minute territory as opposed to like 3:20 or so. So I gave it a C-. It really didn't do much except for give us an angle where maybe WWE will take WrestleMania to London, which I think would be a phenomenal idea. Are you kidding me? 2-day WrestleMania starting at noon Pacific. That would be outstanding. I would love that. That'd be killer. Unfortunately, this segment was not killer. So I'm going to give that a C-. Let's move on to the women's Money in the Bank match. I thought that, again, like the men's Money in the Bank match, couple of clunky moments, but mostly some really cool stuff. Lots of ambitious, very creative moments here in this match, including Zelina Vega using Trish Stratus as a bridge between two ladders, which I thought was pretty interesting. Zoe and Trish trying to handcuff Becky Lynch, but then Iyo Sky using the handcuffs to handcuff Becky to Bayley. And then in the press conference afterwards, after Iyo had won Money in the Bank, Bayley was like, yeah, we both have Money in the Bank. So that's a lot of fun. I thought it was a lot of fun. Just like the men's match, I gave this an A- because I thought there was a lot of creativity. They stuck the landing on the winner, unlike the men's, because it should have been LA Knight. I got to stop saying that. So yeah, I give this an A-. I thought the women did an excellent job, and hats off to Iyo Sky. I am looking forward to that Iyo Sky versus Asuka program. I think that's going to be so much fun. That's going to be awesome. So let's go ahead and move on to what do we got next? Oh yeah, the World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Yeah, I kind of feel like I was expecting more out of this match. Look, it's Money in the Bank, and I'm not going to say usually, but often one of the more intriguing aspects of Money in the Bank is the idea that somebody could cash in at Money in the Bank. Now, it turns out they're taking the longer road. Priest won, which I think is a good idea. And Finn, of course, had this match against Seth Rollins. So what would Priest do? Priest came down for the distraction. And as Finn had this match won, Priest gets up from his chair, making it seem like he might cash in that moment. So, of course, that distracts Finn. Seth gets out of the way. Finn misses the stomp. Finn misses the coup de grace, and then Seth hits the stomp and gets the win. I don't know. I felt like the actual meat of the match between these two should have been, or could have been, a little bit better, a little bit more of a sense of urgency to it. Damian Priest coming down just wasn't all that exciting. Like, it's not like they hit his music and he comes down for a big reaction. I don't know. I just felt like there was sort of a sense of urgency lacking to this match. There was something sort of vital lacking to it. And then Priest just he was just milling about there with the briefcase, didn't really do a whole lot. So, yeah, I don't know. What did I give this match? I gave it a B-. I mean, look, these guys are kind of incapable of putting on a bad match, and this is not a bad match. It just didn't measure up to my expectations, which are lofty because I think these guys have put on some pretty terrific matches in the past. So I give that one a B-. And then that brings us to the main event, of course, the Bloodline Civil War. Jey Uso pins Roman Reigns after Roman tried to stack them. Ref bump, spike, spear, and then he stacks the Usos and then he goes for the pin and the Usos kick out. They end up turning the tables on him and Solo, take Solo out of the match, and they end up getting the pin. Jey Uso gets a pin on Roman Reigns, probably setting up a SummerSlam main event, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. That's how I sort of feel that's going to play out, and that's going to be really good. I ended up giving this match a B. Now, I'm at the point with Bloodline matches where the end is always going to be phenomenal. From ref bump to the end, it's always amazing. It's really good. The problem is there's a good 15 minutes before that is at this point simply formulaic. It's a template. Do a bunch of stuff where everybody mills about kind of slowly, a lot of getting to know you stuff, which I feel like they can just be more efficient with. We know their relationships. We know their story. There doesn't need to be a lot of feeling out. I had the same criticism with Omega Ospreay last week at Forbidden Door. 10 minutes of feeling out is not necessary in a 40-minute long match. This is sort of similar. 10, 15 minutes of the first part of this match, just a lot of like crowd interaction and them just walking around, yelling and stuff. Man, it was just too much. It just sort of bogged it down, especially after we had John Cena and Grayson Waller talking for like ever earlier. Let's get to the match. Let's get to the ref bump. Just do it out the gate. Come out there and the ref stumbles down. Everything from that moment on was A++, but that first chunk of the match, which was a long time, brought this down to a B. So yeah, I kind of feel like they need to freshen things up with those Bloodline matches. But again, the finish to the match, all that stuff that led up to it, stellar stuff, awesome story beats. Jey Uso pinning Roman. I love it. I think that's great. So if you add all those up and then divide them by whatever number of matches and segments there are, this pay-per-view, in my estimation, in fact, sticks with a B. It got a B. The pay-per-view got a B, because that's what I'm going to do too. I'm going to take all the matches and stuff. I'm going to average them out. Money in the Bank is a B-level pay-per-view, man. No, it's not a B-level pay-per-view. I gave it a B grade. It's an A-level pay-per-view. I think that they've been killing it with these premium live events, man. I think WWE's been a great job. And that's the thing, too, is that the bar's been so high with these premium live events with WWE that it's like they've set the bar really high. Like this year has been really, really good. And so when there's something with a couple matches that might be a bit on the mid side, sort of brings it down a little bit. Anyways, what do you guys think in the comments below? Let me know. Hit that subscribe button. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you like the video. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Check out this video over here. I don't know what it is. I'm going to react to something maybe. I'll react to something. This is me reacting to me reacting.